So, I want to talk to you guys about what the National Federation of Blind is and what other services there are for the blind and visually impaired in almost every state, and of course every state's different. But my experience here in Utah, at least with the blind services and communities, stuff like that. So, when I went blind in about 2014, I went to a depression for about a year, and then I got out of it after a while, and I was introduced to my first ever introduction to the blind community here in Utah was through a White Cane Day. And what White Cane Day is like an awareness day for the blind and visually impaired. So like you could have gone down and learn how to not really learn how to use a cane a bit, learn how a blind person uses it, and there's just different things that are evolving around or revolving around the right white cane. Now, after that, I learned about this thing called Strive, which I can't remember what the acronym stands for. But what Strive basically does, it's for blind and visually impaired youth to go and learn about like independence and doing things on your own and different stuff like that. Hold on, I'm trying to find that. Anyway, so for example, Strive, typically the activities you do have a purpose or reason for them to happen. For example, going to an amusement park, you can have fun there, of course, but the real goal is to go there and talk to an employee about what they would do to help a blind person work at this amusement park, if that makes sense. Or I don't know after that. Or so Strive, typically that's what they do. Like Strive is second Saturday of every month, and a bunch of people get together and we do some sort of activity with some fun and some actual intent behind it. Like the most recent Strive I attended was geared around teamwork and cooperation and communication. So things like that. Outside of Strive, you do have what is it called? It's through the School for the Deaf and Blind. I can't remember what it's called.
Oh, never mind. He just wants helping snacks.
Anyway, so what if I just tell me the short term? So the short term is meant for younger children, like anywhere from kindergarten to maybe middle school, a little bit. But they're more fun-based while trying to be educational at the same time, whereas Strive is more educational with elements of fun. So it's a trade-off. Since Strive are mostly older people, or older,
Money! What good is money to hell prison?
oh, baby.
Another one. Maybe I start arm collection.
Okay, well, I failed. So, yeah, typically, short-termers for younger kids and Strive's for the older, like 18-ish area. Outside of Strive and short term, you have the National Federation of Blind. You have the School for the Deaf and Blind having their own programs. At least here in Utah, every month or so, the Salt Lake chapter for the National Federation of Blind has a meeting, or a little chapter meeting. Each chapter has their own meeting, so it's broken down like this. You have the national president for the National Federation of Blind, so he's the guy over most everything. Then you have the state president, so each state has their own president for the NFB. And then beneath the state president, you have a chapter president, which a chapter is basically like a county. So like Salt Lake County has a president, whereas like Cache Valley County or whatever, or I think it's Cache Valley County. Anyway, like each little county has their own president, and then I think beneath that, I think that's it. But like they're each comprised of a board. So the state president meets with all those chapter presidents to do like a board meeting, and then above that, the national president meets with all state presidents to do a board meeting every so while. So for example, next weekend my presentation will be at the National Federation of Blind of Utah State Convention, and
do they not feed you in hell?
oh my god. So with the state conventions are typically done like this. You have 3 days, anywhere from 2 to 3 days. I've never heard of 4-day convention, but it could be possible. But 3 days, and you simply, it's comprised of different activities and seminars you can sit in at and learn, like blind tech. Hold on, I was listening. So like blindness related tech, or like more information on blindness if you want to learn about it, like how the blind person does this or that. You can learn about Social Security and what you are capable of receiving or fighting against in Social Security. You learn what vocational rehabilitation does for the blind. There's a bunch of different things. And so that's where I come in with my presentation. I'm presenting at this convention Thursday night, Friday night, and then Saturday afternoon, I guess I'm part of general session. Which general session is like typically where it's like 2 to 3 hours long or 4 hours long. You just sit there and everyone talks, like you have different speakers and different things happening. And general session has basically everyone in the convention present. So it's 2 to 3, 400 people, depending on how many go. So that's. I'm trying not to die.
I do not usually. I think I understand how
So yeah, that's generally how a convention goes. You get 3 days, and you have a different thing every hour almost. You have like a sponsor, you have like a dinner, lunch, breakfast, you have a bunch of different stuff.
money.
Outside of convention and Strive and short term, you of course can reach out to your area and you can see what blind people are living here, what they're doing. In fact, my girlfriend is part of a blind parents Facebook group, just blind parents, and we all try and connect a bit and talk about what works for us and our children, or whoever. That's how it works. That's interesting. Now, like I said, this is all my experience. Maybe some of you have your own experiences with other places, with other states, or maybe in other countries. 'Cause I heard, 'cause I know Blind Gaming Daniel, he was saying he's in Canada, I think. So I wonder how America and Canada are different. I know the United Kingdom is also very different for the blind over there. So it's interesting to think about like the different perspectives from each country. How even like in America, even state to state, it's different.
Yeah, very scary. Those for that.
Okay.
Shooting you
Anyway.
outdates is too expensive.
I hope you guys enjoyed this commentary. It wasn't very long, but I hope you guys enjoyed and have a bit of a better understanding of what the NFB does and things like that. I didn't really break down what they do, actually. I actually talked about the programs and stuff for blind youth. What the NFB actually does is they are a non-profit organization, and they simply do their best to help the lives of blind and vision impaired people across the country. So things like helping us get our right to have a full pay instead of being paid like $1 an hour, because that was an actual thing. Apparently.
This one makes nice
I didn't know it.
sound. Like nest of angry
Or our right to own a car, because the driverless cars and stuff like that are coming out. So driverless cars are becoming a big thing, and we're pushing for our right to actually own one, so we can actually be more independent and not rely on sighted people and things like that. Anyway, so hope you guys enjoyed. Don't forget to leave a like, comment, share, subscribe, and I'll leave a link for PayPal and GT Throne. Don't forget to use code TJ the Blind Gamer, 10% off checkout, and I'll see if I can get a link for the NFB of Utah specifically, so you guys can see what that's all about. Bye guys.